right, I am so sorry. I had a blowout there. I had to do a reboot. My OBS, sometimes you overload it when you got too much stuff open. I apologize for that. Wow, that was pretty nasty stuff there. I was putting in a interactive thing I was trying to put in, and it blew out the whole OBS, just blew straight on out. Nothing I can do about that. I do apologize for that. But now I got to double check and make sure. I have no idea what happened there. So pardon me while I try to get this thing back up, see if we're up and running. Dismissed. I may have to bring this down. So I am trying to see if I can get this up and running. So I need to update all my stuff. I shut these two things down. Everything's got to come back down. So I apologize for that. Let me get this back up and running. There we go. That was something I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. That definitely was a first. That's here. Live coverage stream is on. That's where we're gonna go. Right there. Boom. All right. I think I got myself up and running. There we go. All right. Let's pop this thing up. Pop out chats. Boom. There we go. Hello. And let me double check my chat here. Make sure it's running. Chat is open. Yep. There we go. Good. Outstanding, outstanding. Sorry about that. That was really crazy. I was not expecting that. I got blown out there. Sorry, folks. I was trying to put in a explainer on a graphic, and it blew out on me. I was not expecting that, and I see why it did it too. That was completely my fault. Okay, there's a thing called whiteboard on OBS, and you use it to kind of do your drawing and illustrating on. And I had a duplicate one that was in the build out feed. So when I tried to add a new one, it boom, blew it right out. So that one's my fault. User error, 100% on me. Can't do that when you want to do that. No. Anyway, I was talking about this feed over here before I got cut off. This is what we were looking at. We have this track, and what's so critical about this, and I think it's going to oscillate for the next couple of days, is you've got a very strong ridge of high pressure that's over here. And, for like me, I tell you, I don't know what error they have on OBS that causes that little thing to go off like that. So it's following this ridge of high pressure, right? Now, wherever that weakness is, there's another high off here to the west. So wherever that weakness is between the two is where this thing's going to make a turn and kind of come up, all right? So right now, this late model has it coming inland a little bit, come along the coast, and then kind of ringing back out. Heck, I can see a good loop come back out of the Gulf. I really can see that. So it all depends on the where those two highs set up and where that separation is going to be. That's going to be what's going to cause this thing to move into that northern section there. So let me get this back over here. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Now, right now, what they're getting along the coast there in Jamaica is some pretty hefty stuff. They're getting you got a little bit of an eye they're trying to reform. It's not cleared out like it was when we had it, when it was looking really good. It's much wider than it was before. The earlier eye that we had was about 10 miles when it was real close off. Which one was a Cat 5? We had the 165 mile per hour winds. So it's definitely a little bit looking a little healthier on the infrared imagery here than what we saw earlier for sure. That is definitely looking better. But the trend is for this thing to weaken. Right now it's at 140, but by the time we head to tomorrow, looking at 2 o'clock tonight morning, I don't know about this though. I really don't. They're taking it down to 125 mile per hour winds by the time we get to 2 a.m. in the morning, and I just don't know about that, because the only reason why I say that is because it looks healthier to me on the infrared imagery than what we were seeing before. It definitely is looking better there. So let me make sure my chat is functional. Hold on one second. I want to double check this. I'm going to move this down. And make sure the, hello. Yep, it's up. All right, good. Making sure. Just making sure. And my YouTube control panel's not showing anything, so I don't know what it's going on. I can see some of y'all over here on the other one, though. So, again, as this storm is kind of tricking right along the coast there, we'll see how. Let me look at the latest here on the, I think we should be seeing some of the new data here on the simulation. So this is the model data here. Let me look at this and see if there's been any changes to this profile as well. Highly doubt it, because this has been, I gotta admit, from a forecasting standpoint, this has been probably one of the easier ones to track just because of how strong the high pressure ridge is. If the ridge was not that strong, then we'd be talking a different ball of wax here, okay? It would be definitely a whole lot different. So, so let me take a look at a couple things here. Let's look at, not the surface winds. I'm just kind of looking at a couple things I want to look at here. So this is the 12Z. So again, this is the European model. You see this thing tracking. It pretty much follows where the Hurricane Center was talking about where it's going to go. You see this kind of moving right in to the Yucatan, coming across, and then the landfall is pretty close to what the European's showing. I mean, it's pretty close, pretty dead on with that, what we're seeing right there. So that is definitely a... again, it just all depends on the model. I really think we're going to see some changes on that. Obviously, we've got very, very warm water temperatures out here. Let me interact. I'll show you this a little bit. Let me zoom in a little closer on this. So, I mean, God bless, some of these water temperatures in the Northern Gulf are sitting in the dang upper 80s even. Seeing some upper 80s, 87, 88, 85 out there. It is like bath water out there. So we got a lot of good stuff out there to kind of feed these feed this hurricane as it continues to move off toward the west. Definitely looking very healthy in there, and you can see this here on. I'll switch over to the. Let me switch over to the visible. Well, we still got a little bit of light left in here. So the sun's starting to go low. I'll zoom in a little bit closer. So it's, look, that center's just passing just south. I guarantee that the damage. I guarantee they got some pretty good damage there in Alligator Pond. That's right on the coastline, right there with Jamaica, right there. I do apologize. Radar Omega does not put their doggone international boundaries. They do it for the CONUS. You see the blue there around the United States. That shows up very well, but they don't do it for the international stuff, which I think kind of stinks. Unless I'm missing the setting somewhere. I looked all in there. I did not see it anywhere. So I'll have to talk to those guys and figure that out. That's why I keep going back to this other image here, because at least this one you got the outline of the country on board there, but you kind of see it kind of clearing out as it's just clipping the tip there of Jamaica as that's kind of coming off toward the east. And some of these cameras, let's take a look at the cameras here. Like they're still buffering a little bit. I haven't seen anybody lose any power, at least. And just because just a lot of people watching the videos right now. Obviously, a lot of people going out there and seeing that. But they've had kind of the worst weather here, probably in the last hour. Some heavy rain, some flooding conditions in there. Probably some coastal erosion. But Kingston definitely missed the worst of it. Thank goodness for that. That's a very good thing. I don't know why that is not showing. Clipboard. I don't know why that's not showing. See here. Let's see. Refresh page. Trying to see the YouTube control center in OBS is supposed to show me when you guys are on. I'm seeing you guys over here on the video link. I know we got 12 of y'all out there. Do me a favor, if you are watching the channel again while we're doing this, please do me a favor and just go ahead and hit a thumbs up on there. I got 3 likes on there right now, so hit the thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd like to give you a personal invitation here. I consider this kind of my test run day for today. There's some things that I'm going to improve on here. I've actually got almost all my equipment. The only thing I'm missing is my green screen. I've got my monitor, all my stuff from Amazon's ready to go. I'm going to put a green screen over here to my left off the set for my main set, so I can actually do some interaction stuff with you guys when I want to show certain things. So I can go up to the wall and do it. So that's going to be a real big plus for me to be able to do this. And I'm thinking about taking parts of this and rebuilding this thing over again, just so I can clean out some of the junk. You know, when you're trying to improve a product and you're testing different things, you may get some layers in there that you don't really want to see and you don't want to have. So ultimately, obviously, is we want to get you the best possible looking system here. And if there's something you guys like, if there's something you guys would like to see, I've had some pretty good feedback from the earlier broadcast of what folks were kind of recommending here for the channel that I hope to get in here. So I just added Streamlabs to the dock here as far as one of my plugins here on OBS. Not a bad thing, but it doesn't do everything on it. Hey, Leighton, good to see you there. How you doing? Good to see you there. Weather Nerds Unite. I appreciate you got to get a comment in there. Again, if you guys just could help me out here, as we've had a good day today. We've actually added about 30 people to the channel, which again, for a small channel like ours, that's a good day. That's not a bad day. To me, a bad day is when you lose subscribers and you're not moving in the right direction. The shorts that I started doing have been very productive this past week. I've been averaging between 6 to 8 new subscribers per day. The shorts are about a 45-second, quick in and out, give you an update like on Beryl or other systems. So, and thank you that new subscriber just came on here. So what you're going to get as a new subscriber, 2 things. One, you hit that notification bell, you know you're going to get these short updates, about a minute long. They'll keep you updated on storms like Beryl and other storms in the season. And then the second thing you're going to get, you're automatically registered to win Weather Radio. When we get to 5,000, and we'll probably do it sometime this summer, I think, especially as busy as the hurricane season is going to be, we're going to see, we're going to give away 8 NOAA Weather Radios. Those are the real nice ones. How you doing there? Sheila, good to see ya. Megan Otto back in the house. Good to see you. Hello. Welcome on board. Those are some of the regulars here that have come back in here. And if you're new to the channel, again, we like to invite you. Join the brotherhood. Join the nerddom. That's what I like to say. Because when we get storms like this, you want to stay informed, And there's a lot of different sources out there in the YouTube universe, online, with your stuff. And you got to go with who you're comfortable with. Obviously, you want to establish a relationship with whomever you think will give you the no BS, straightforward, on and on. The one thing I will say that I'm not liked a whole lot out on the YouTubeverse is the amount of overhyped BS that goes on out there. And I understand it's part of the game, but I'm not willing to go to the extreme to just get subscribers. I really am not. If you join, it's great. It's an opportunity for you guys. It's an opportunity for me to help build this great product, which I hope to continue to improve on. I'm very excited tonight when I get done doing this. I'm going to start putting my monitor together. I'm going to put my camera together. I don't have my green screen yet, so I can't test it yet. I have to wait till I think it comes on Saturday to get my green screen over here. But at least start getting it set up to try to do the interactive part on this. So I'm really excited about that. Here in the near future. So let me go back here and check some of these lives and see if they're spinning donuts. Hard to see, if it's just too much traffic out there, which it probably is. I'm suspecting that's probably what it is. In fact, I can double check this real quick. And I don't know why OBS blew out on me earlier, so it was not allowing me to see y'all's data, which is something I really rely on. I don't know why it's not showing up in here right now. Let's see here. Yeah, they're all spinning right now. They were locked up at 3:58. These are about 30 minutes old, and they're just streaming. Yep. Probably power outages, if I had to bet. I'm looking at the camera screen on the bottom. Looks like someone's... Oh, this is the Associated Press. I'm not sure what island they're on. Let me show you this. I'll show you this camera view here. Is this live? Or is this just video? It says News 18 Newsroom. Looks like it's just clips. Never mind. It says live, but there's a streaming review on that. So it looks like the power is out now in Kingston. This is not streamed for about 30 minutes, so it's just a donut right now, and the time is down. I do not believe that's just from viewers. I believe it's probably from power outages that are going on there in itself. So just checking around the other cameras. This is the AP camera. Is this one streaming good? Looks like it is. This is an earlier camera we were looking earlier. Let me see if this one will come up for you. as we were kind of watching these cameras and seeing which ones work and which ones don't. It's been kind of a hit and miss type thing. So let's check this one out. There's that one. Yeah, here's the marina. This was the marina shot we were looking at earlier here. But Kingston did not get the brunt of the storm. But the west part of the city the island is definitely getting the worst of it. They're getting it a whole lot worse than anybody else. Absolutely. So again, if you're new to the channel, all I ask for you guys to do is just kind of help spread the word. So that means sharing if you can, if you haven't done so. That means going ahead and making sure you give a thumbs up in there. That helps, and obviously if you subscribe to the channel, that also is a big plus. So we're going to go here for a little while. We'll kind of see how things are going and see how this thing evolves here over the next few minutes or so. Like I said, I do not know what my YouTube control panel is not working. I've tried to refresh it a couple times, and it's not coming up. So I had a blowout, so I can understand why it's messing up a little bit. So let's go back over here to Radar Omega real quick. Let's go ahead and check this thing out here. Let me get this thing looping again here. As you can kind of see this thing. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, as far as the signature of this thing. Let me go back to Radar Omega here. But one thing that looks different to me that compared to earlier. All right, the storm to me looks more symmetrical. All right, when it's more symmetrical, it means it's looking more circular. All right, so it looks like to me that some of the wind shear that was inhibiting this thing earlier is not nearly as good as it was earlier. So that's number one I see. I also see a pretty good outflow aloft. So that means we're getting high pressure aloft here. So there's still a little wind shear there, but it looks to me a healthier looking storm than it was like when I started broadcasting at about 10:30 this morning. So the storm is looking healthier. It's just a question of, will some of the stuff that's around here, and I can show you here the mid-level water vapor. Yeah, even that's kind of cleared out a little bit. So that yellow is the bad stuff. That's drier air, and there's a lot of it behind the system, kind of squeezed in between here. But it does not look nearly as potent as it was earlier as far as something to inhibit the storm. So I'm seeing indications of the storm being a little bit healthier than what it was showing earlier. Now the question is, will the storm continue to weaken as it has been doing so? I can take a look at the latest. Let me take a look at the latest from the Air Force reconnaissance. We'd like to see the aircraft, the planes. Those are our eyes, man. You got to watch those things. They're the Hurricane Hunter aircraft are very critical to what's going on out there. Let me see what the last update was. Looks like they're just getting out there. Looks like mission 17. Yeah, they're just getting out there. So we should have some more data here pretty soon. 21, 13. Yeah, they're just out there now. So they're just getting out there. So once the data gets out there, we'll like to see what that's. I'm interested to see exactly what the storm, what I'm seeing from a satellite perspective is conducive to what I'm seeing on the ground. All right. Because the last thing from the National Hurricanes, I think it was 959 millibars. Let me check here. 959 millibars. If that pressure shows any signs whatsoever of dropping a little bit, then we got to be concerned. Because if it starts strengthening again, if it starts reorganizing, we start getting an Eyewall back in there again, all bets are off on anything that's out ahead of it. And I have seen that happen before. At least going back to last summer here, I have seen storms that they thought were weakened, didn't weaken, and everything else. But right now, the two things that I see that were inhibiting it, the upper level wind shear as well as some of that dry air, does not look nearly as bad as it was earlier today. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to override what the Hurricane Center is saying. Obviously the forecast trend there is for it to continue to weaken as it continues to move off toward the west. I can turn on a couple of these we'll turn on the cone again here for you. Oops, I'm sorry, close that. Wrong thing. Hit the hurricane dummy. There we go. There's our cone. There's our current wind field here. Kind of put there. So there's your wind field here. You can see the tropical storm force winds are, you got some pretty good, that red area That's your hurricane force winds coming around there. So it's just offshore. Most of the hurricane force winds are offshore. But you see the track, it takes you right up into the bay. Now this is that cone of uncertainty, okay? That's important too, because if the models, again, if it turns sooner, it'll go to the right a little bit. What I'm going to be looking at for the 0Z strength is to see if there's any kind of revisions possibly with what the hurricane is currently looking like. I mean, it looks very healthy to me. I'd be interested to see if we actually get an eye to kind of reform in there once again. But it's not cleared out. You know, when you see it, it looks like it's trying to reestablish some sort of clear eye there. It's not there yet, but it does appear that it's trying to clear one out. So we're going to see how that works out here through the next couple hours or so. We've only got the sun up here probably for another couple hours until it starts getting too low there. But you can clearly see it's running right on the coast now. You can see where that is. Very much so. In fact, I could probably go in a little bit tighter. Let me see if I can get in a little bit tighter on that. Let's go to interact. Oops. Let's do this here. I'm going to make this a little bit tighter. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. There we go. I got to zoom in a little closer here for you so you can see that a little bit better. So you can see that ice sitting right there on the coast, man. That whole area there near Alligator Pond, boy, they're getting pounded. They're probably getting winds upwards of, it looks like to me it's right on the Eyewall. Check this out, guys. You can see this very well. Here's the wall right here. Check that. See that bright banding right there over Alligator? They're probably getting winds there, probably over 100 plus miles per hour right there on the coast, right there. Kingston dodged the bullet. The capital of Jamaica dodged the bullet, but the south coast is not dodging anything. They're getting hammered very good right now. The question is this stuff here gonna shallow out? I do say this much. It does appear, if we do get a new eyewall, it will not be nearly as tight as it was earlier. That's for sure. If we get a new eyewall to kind of reform in there and clear out that, because it looks like it will be a bigger one. But that's interesting to see that you're seeing that bright banding going right through there and boom, right there on the eye, right there. The sun angle's getting lower. You can kind of see where the eyewall is a little bit better in there. So that is how that's looking. Very healthy indeed. Very nice. You guys got any questions? Please don't hesitate to put it in. Sheila's asking what the Euro model. Well, Sheila, I'm going to tell you right now. You're asking what the Euro model is showing here. This track that the hurricane's on, that's pretty much the Euro track. That's the European model. European model is pretty much identical to this. And the GFS model is pretty good. Both models are very similar to each other. Again, this is probably one of the easiest storms to forecast because the high pressure ridge is so high to the surface. The stir currents are very easy to pick. What's really bad is sometimes when you get later in the summer, the steering currents can get very weak and erratic. So it becomes a lot harder to forecast. This one here is pretty easy. Really not that bad to sit there and try to figure out where exactly this thing's going to be going right now. Very easy to see. So as this thing's tracking off toward the west, it's going to go around that periphery of that high pressure system, and that is what's going to set this thing up. It's just a question of, to me, when you're dealing with two high pressure systems and whether they're going to merge together and pinch off or where that wind is going, it can shift. And we're talking just a few tens of miles here can make all the difference in the world, especially when you take into account the curvature of the Texas Gulf Coast. You know how it kind of curves out there. If it starts turning earlier, it'll parallel the coast. If it goes inland, like right now it's saying it's going to go inland a little bit and then kind of come back out, that could be a big key there too as well. So let's see here. This is the only camera it does appear to be. Is that one going? I'm trying to see if it's frozen or not. I think that's frozen. Yeah, I think we've lost the cameras down there. It's doing some animation. I can't detect if that's actually. No, I guess it is live. I see the camera. See it getting a little wet there, so that's not looking too bad. That's a protected bay there, so those boats there made it out pretty good. Hey, if you're new to the channel, if you could please do me a favor. Again, we're a small champion here. We're a small channel. So we rely on our people coming through, scanning through on the remote to kind of help us out. So 2 things you can help us out. If you could please give a thumbs up to the broadcast, and if you consider subscribing, be an honor to be one of your sources for weather information. Once you do that and you hit that notification bell especially, I do daily weather shorts for the tropics. You can have that for your weather feed. Be there whenever you want. It's a very short 45, 60 second update. Boom, you get it and you're out. So this hurricane season, based off what we're seeing right here with Beryl, if this doesn't tell you that we're in for a kind of a unusual, unique, and special season, I don't know what will. They were talking about the earliest ever for a Category 4 hurricane in the Atlantic that went into the Windward Islands. We're talking the earliest ever for a Category 5 hurricane in the Caribbean, beat it, I think, by about 2 weeks. So we're talking about historic. When we're not just throwing around a word here. We're talking about a truly historic event with this storm. And we're just kind of getting started. We may get one more storm behind this one. The one behind it is showing a little bit of life potential here for development. Let me see what the outlook here was. That was looking at right now just showing 10%, and let me see what the 7-day is. 7-day is showing 20%, so it's pretty low. Nothing really to write home about on that one. But and this is the system back behind here. We pull back out here. It's this system that's kind of moving through behind the system. So we're talking about this one right here. This one right here has got 20% chance maybe something development. I typically, when you get a storm going over the same path the other storm kind of steals a little of its thunder and its energy. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not overly concerned whether we're going to get Debbie or not, but right now it's just all eyes on Beryl and what this storm is going to do as it approaches the Yucatan Peninsula here, and whether it maintains its strength or not. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the hurricane hunters show out there when they get their planes out there and kind of see what's going on. And I keep going back to this page. I'm kind of refreshing, and if it uploads, then I'll come on and I'll bring it on over here so you guys can see it. It's status en route. It says en route heading to 17.67 north, 67.82 west, which is pretty close to the center, obviously. And right now they're at sea. Yeah, right now they're just kind of getting out there. So as of 21:23, so that was what, 10 minutes ago. So they're en route. To hurricane hunters heading on out there to kind of see what's going on and what happens when the aircraft get out there. This is the previous one. They were out there earlier. They do these crossing zigzag patterns. They go around that center of circulation, get an idea of the wind field, how far out the hurricane force winds go, the tropical storm force winds. They kind of look at all that stuff. I tell you one thing, that the NASA just launched a new the 16, which is the satellite we use for the East. They just launched that one. It's not operational yet. It would have been and we probably won't have it operational until next hurricane season, because these next gen satellite systems, boy, can really take us to a next level, because their instrumentation is so sensitive. They can really eyeball these things without having to get into a whole lot here. It just makes it, because we have a much better product here. Yeah, seeing some blowouts of these storms here on the north side of this Eyewall. See, this is the Eyewall right up in here. So we're getting some pretty intense storms there right along the coast there of Jamaica right now. That's where the worst of the weather is falling right now. Just coming into right there along the coast. Boom. Boy, I just updated too. So you see that it is really paralleling the coast. Now, the one thing that can inhibit the storm while it's so close to Jamaica is, remember, it's one big giant wind energy, okay? So you've got some mountains there, you get some higher terrain there in Jamaica. So as far as bringing in the moisture feed into the storm, could be impeded slightly, a little bit, because it's going by. But as quickly as this thing's moving, it's back up to 20 miles per hour again. Once it clears the island here in the next few hours, it'll have the opportunity to see if it's going to actually strengthen. But like I said, right now, all the model guidance says it should weaken, come down to a Cat 3 as we head toward 2 o'clock in the morning, should drop down to 125 miles per hour. I don't know if I believe that just yet, because we're still holding at 140, and we were supposed to start weakening already, and it hasn't really happened yet. So we're kind of watching to see once it gets over toward the Cayman Islands, and they've got the hurricane warnings up over there as well for the Caymans. See how that's going to kind of pan out for us. So again, if you're new to the channel, please just consider hitting that subscribe button. By subscribing to the channel, you're going to get the YouTube Shorts tropical updates in your feed. Also helps the algorithm when we're trying to do the live broadcast to bring in some additional viewers today. We've added about 30 to the channel, and the goal here is to try to get as big an audience as you want possible. It just makes it easier to do the live broadcast, so I don't have to sit there and ask for folks to do certain things. Because that's what you got to do when you're a small channel. Small channel, you better ask for subscribers, you better ask for thumbs up, you better ask for people make comments, because if you don't do those things, then what happens is that the algorithm will flatline you and you won't get anywhere. So if you could help me out there and do that, I do appreciate it. Good support for the channel. If you do subscribe to the channel, you're automatically registered to win a free NOAA Weather Radio. I'm going to give away 8 NOAA Weather Radios when we get to the... When we get to 5,000, we're slowly chipping away. That's the radio right there. It's a standard Midland NOAA weather radio. Good thing to have, especially for severe weather at night. You want to have that kind of stuff. Have that ready for you. So, again, that's my little incentive to you guys who've just kind of checking and kind of passing through the forecast for now. So, we'll see how things go here for a little bit. And then I'll probably start doing my regular updates again tomorrow for the YouTube Shorts. And I want to wait probably until we get to Sunday, if it holds true. We'll see what happens tomorrow, whether the weakening process continues, and we'll see if that holds true or not. But let me see here. I gotta make sure I put this. I gotta make sure this stuff is going where it's supposed to go, because I never did put it in here. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, if you could do that, I would appreciate it. But we're going to see how this thing works out, man. I'll tell you, I'm just kind of bummed out we didn't get as much video coming out of Jamaica as I was expecting. Where's the intensity here? That is the 18C. So this is what I'm going to be watching very closely right here. This is the intensity map right here. Kind of forecast where things are going. You see the trend, everybody's heading downward. So we know we're going to be seeing a system that's going to be weakening as it continues to move off to the west. And thank you for that new subscriber. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Hopefully your little thing will pop up in my Streamlabs thing. So as this thing weakens, but you also notice there's some of this where maybe not weakening quite as much. Maybe it stays as a hurricane. As it goes through there, so we'll see how it goes. I don't know why that's not clearing out for me, but oh well, it goes. Again, we'll see. The big thing here is what it'll do once it gets to the Yucatan. Now it's moving so fast. You obviously when it goes over land, we're talking about it loses its fuel source. The fuel source is those warm waters out there in the Gulf of Mexico, and where it makes the turn is going to be critical to watch for tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow I think the 0Z runs are going to say a lot. Now keep in mind when it comes to these computer models, the Hurricane Hunter aircraft, when they're out there, their data from the drop sounds that they use, that's their data devices they drop down in these storms, that data gets ingested into the modeling system. So it's that data that comes in through a day. So anything that shows any kind of change and difference in there, it can have an impact on the overall data on how that's going to work out. So yeah, I don't know why that's not clearing out. So we'll see what the 0Z, the overnight data shows for the system as it moves on. But I'll tell you that's a healthy looking storm tonight. I'll tell you that. Really looking nasty there. Let's see, yeah, I'm kind of looking at that very bright thunderstorms. Wow, it's right along the coast too. This right here, up here. This is some very, very nasty, strong winds there, right on the coast there, in Jamaica. We're talking very, very nasty. Let me go a little again. That's right over Alligator Pond. That is right on the coastline. right through there. So you're getting upwards of 100, probably near 140 mile per hour winds. Probably very close to that right through there. That's going to cause a lot of problems as the storm clears out. It's interesting. I see again, it looks like it's trying to clear some. You notice the thunderstorms are a little less in this area. That maybe it's trying to reestablish an eye through there. Although I will say this, if it's in fact doing that, it's a very big one. And that's a good thing, because if it was tighter, that would mean a possibility for re-intensification or getting stronger. Because it's so big, I'd say probably not. It's just not closed off, small enough there to cause any kind of real intensification. So at minimum, it's going to hold its own here over the next few hours. But that is a very good-looking symmetrical storm, as you can see right there as it's going south of Jamaica. That's a very healthy-looking storm. Let's see here. That is my simulated radar. Let me see here. This is a simulated radar. Let's see if this will play. Yeah, that will play. So this is a simulated radar here of the storm system coming in. Oops, let me shut that down. Close. There we go. So this is kind of loading up here. So this is a simulated radar as it's moving off near Jamaica. You kind of see it pulling away there as we go through. So I kind of speed this up for you a little bit. So it's kind of loading in. I'm sorry, it's a little slow loading, but you kind of see that even though the radar here, it's kind of showing the eye kind of clearing out a little bit. That's interesting. So you kind of see a little bit of the eye and the simulated radar there going by Jamaica a little bit. So that's kind of indicative of what we're kind of seeing right now. So that's interesting that the simulated radar is also showing what we're seeing here on the satellite picture as well. With this, so that is very interesting to see that. Yeah, you always wonder what the simulated radar stuff is, if it's going to be a legitimate thing or not. Oh man. So let me see some of this stuff here. Let me see if they've changed anything here on the graphics. Let's go over here. All right, so I do need to update my crawl. Crawl needs to be updated. They have hurricane warnings are now up along the Yucatan Peninsula. There's tropical storm watches on the other side of the peninsula. So that is back off here to the west. So you've got warnings now up along the coast right through here. Right now, it was watches earlier. They have upgraded those to warnings. Those are now warnings. Again, the speed, and I think that's been very interesting with this storm. Most tropical systems, if they're moving at 20, 22 miles per hour, what typically happens is that the center of circulation outruns the thunderstorms and that kind of stuff. You don't usually get big storms at this speed, because this thing went to a Cat 5, still moving at 22 miles per hour. I mean, that's just unheard of. It's atypical. You just don't see that. So yeah, it's just been an atypical storm to say the least. Watching this thing, I keep going back here and checking these cameras up every now and then to see if they're going to come back up. I don't think they are. The only one that looks like it's come back up is the one of the marina, and it's looking better there. It was looking a little rough there earlier. The water's definitely come up at that bridge. Wow, I haven't seen that in a little while. That one's come up a little bit from what it was earlier along that bridge, but as you can see, it's kind of buffering. Probably got power outages there in Kingston, so but not as bad as it could have been, that's for sure. If you guys are checking out the Weather Nerds YouTube channel here for the first time, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Greg. I am a former TV meteorologist as well as retired Army officer here on the channel, and trying to build a good product for you guys, and over time we hope to do it. If you would like to join the Weather Nerds channel, all you gotta do, please subscribe to the channel. And I asked that, hey, how you doing there, Minnesota Storm Chaser, one of my regulars here. Hello, good to see you there. If you want to, if you please do that, again, you get enrolled to win a free NOAA Weather Radio, and you help the channel out. Obviously, the goal here is to try to build a decent audience here as we continue to grow the channel. I'm looking forward to installing some of my stuff tonight. Hopefully by the next big live broadcast, maybe by Sunday. Who knows? If we get a hurricane to the coast on Sunday, I might try, if I can figure out how. I have not used a chroma key on OBS. I know there's videos out there on how to do it, and I will build it. So I'll have a wall up, so like when I have a map up like you see there right now, like that map you see right there right now, where I can zoom in and I can kind of point out certain things where you can actually physically see me doing it. That would be like a TV station would. That's why I'm in the process of trying to add here real soon. And that's the $1 billion question there, Sheila. That is actually that. It's been a strange storm. Wonder what's next. That is the big question. Remember, the Hurricane Center, the official forecast is calling for, up to 26 named storms, 25 named storms, I think it was. Some of the projections are going out above that, going up to 33. I mean, we're talking about running out of letters in the alphabet potentially this year for this system. So I think in the short term, though, I believe we're going to get a little bit of a break here. We're going to collective catch our breaths here. We had Alberto, we had Beryl that came up, we had Chris that lasted all of about 12 hours, if that, and it moved into the Yucatan. And we got this system here. So it's kind of been nonstop here since about the middle of June, roughly, with these systems, one after another after another. Conditions out in the Atlantic, because of a lot of Saharan dust, is going to allow us to go catch our breath for a second, see what's going to happen here, but that's only going to be short-lived. It's not going to be for too long. Then we'll watch as the trade winds kind of pick up. Remember we talking about La Nina, okay? When we were talking about La Nina, okay, we're talking about the waters out here in the east. We're talking about upwelling of cooler waters out here, all right? So, but we're also getting up on, I'm going to come over here. I want to go up, way over here to the Atlantic side. We've actually got some upwelling of water out here of some cooler waters. Now, why is that important? If you got cooler water down here, and it basically means that the trade winds, because of the pressure, the differences in temperature between what's to the north coming this way and what's to the south going northward, the trade winds could be a little stronger. What that's resulting in right now is we're getting a little more Saharan dust that's kind of blowing out into the tropics. But again, once the intertropical convergence zone gets fired up fully, we're going to have more wave activity that's going to be coming off the coasts here and making the trip across, all right? So La Nina is playing a factor here in a more atypical way. Sometimes when you get La Nina, you don't get the kind of upwelling you're seeing now here off the African coastline. And I think that's having an impact too, as far as the strength of the trade winds and the amount of wave activity that we're going to see. I also think we're going to have a very active, strong monsoon season this year as well in the western part of the United States. That's going to allow the potential weaknesses or troughs to kind of set up in the east, I think. So again, it shows how we're all connected. Everything's connected when it comes to the tropics and how that's going to play out here over the next, what, we got July, August, September, October, really, November too, but really through October. We got 4 months of really hot and heavy stuff that's going to be kind of coming our way here with this hurricane season. Whew. I think we had a little over, I think we had 1,300 this morning. We got a couple hundred views right here tonight. Pretty good. Outstanding. All right, so we're gonna talk here for about another 10 minutes. You guys got any questions? Anybody watching, if you got any specific questions you want to ask about the hurricane season? I think we've kind of beat Beryl to death here. I will say this, it looks like things with Beryl, what's next is going to be the Cayman Islands. Obviously, you see the Georgetown there. This is far enough north. I think they're going to be all right. One thing we've seen with the Kingston, the wind field on this thing is so dang tight. I think the hurricane force winds are going to stay south of Georgetown. They should see just some tropical storm force winds, maybe occasional hurricane gusts with some of the outer bands, maybe. But I think they'll be okay for the most part. What I'll be watching tomorrow morning when we get to this position. So this is at tomorrow afternoon about 2 o'clock. So somewhere right about in here. It should be right about in here, right where I got the hand point right there. That's where it should be tomorrow morning. We'll see how the storm and what the wind speed is going to be at that time. to see if the actual weakening takes place as quickly as advertised. Probably so, but like I said, you always gotta be on the side there. It looks like 100-mile-per-hour winds at landfill. And these areas along the coast here, you kind of looking at there. It's kind of a no man's land in there. There's Punta Hera. I don't really think there's anything of major cities in this area. Nice big bay right through there. Because I believe Cancun obviously is where a lot of the resorts and stuff are up here. So this is going to pass off to the south. So not looking too bad for Mexico there as it kind of traverses there. But I tell you, if it goes back up, again, you had Alberto move through here. You had Chris move through here. We had another. You have had multiple waves that have just pounded Mexico south of Texas here for the last few weeks. Man, they've gotten zero breaks whatsoever with this. So I really hate the fact that Beryl did take out this buoy out here. This buoy out here recorded, before it went down, recorded winds to 93 miles per hour before it got taken out by the waves out there. So I hate to see that because they never repair these things. They're still, I mean, there's numerous ones out here that are still down. They've been down for a long time. This one's been down since 2021. This one's been down since 22. So I hate the fact that we lose these buoys out here because they're never in a quick hurry to fix them. This one went down in 2022. So probably from another hurricane. This one went down in 2023. So it stinks when we lose these buoys out there to kind of be our eyes of what's going on out in the tropics because we want to see that. Hey, well, I got some folks on here. I like to get some folks credit. So this was my new background image here that I kind of got in here a little bit. I moved it over to a corner to kind of give me a little more play here. Kind of set up my graphics a little better, so I got my two little neon lights and stuff in here. I really like how it came out. It came out looking pretty good. The green screen when it gets over here is going to look really nice. I think that's going to be a big plus. You guys will probably get a kick out of that. Oops. Sorry, get this back over to that. So, but yeah, that's pretty fun stuff. I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited about what this whole hopefully green screen will work tomorrow. I might have to find me. Oh, you know what I could? Oh, I know what I could do. I'm such an idiot. I got these green folders over there. All I gotta do is tape a couple of them up on the wall, and that way I can test it. Is Belize going to get it? That's what they're asking there, Belize. Yeah, I think you're okay there in Belize. And again, remember, this is a pretty compact storm. This is a pretty compact storm there. So because of that, I think you're far enough south that you're going to be all right. Are you going to see some waves? And also keep this in mind. In fact, if the storm center's passing up here, you're going to be getting offshore winds. All right? So storm surge, not really a big deal. You got offshore wind. You're far enough away from the center. So I think Belize, you're looking okay. Now, up here to the north, different story. They're going to be seeing onshore winds this way around the center of circulation. So there'll be some storm surge up here north of the center of circulation there on the upper part of the Yucatan Peninsula. So, yes. So I think your impact for Beryl there in Belize will be fairly minimal. The center of circulation is far enough away. Not saying you're not going to see some squalls, some rainy weather, but as far as like hurricane force winds and anything that's going to cause you a real nasty headache, I don't think so. Belize, I think you're looking okay. All right. Hope that answers your question. And that's what I love doing about this for is you guys asking questions out there and me being able to answer them for you. That's what makes this fun. So it's like if I can't be a TV meteorologist anymore and I'm not working for a station, I'm also working for myself and then work for you guys. That's the best thing to do here. And setting up all the bells and whistles and the tools to do this most effectively and the best as possible. So, hey, if you haven't checked, if you are new to the channel, if you're kind of passing through and you're watching this right now, again, right now it's kind of low. People are clicking through every about 2.5 to 3 minutes. So if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button. Real easy to do. When you do that, you're going to get the daily feeds, the shorts that I do daily on the tropics. So you'll have that for the rest of the hurricane season. Keep in mind, you'll get that in your feed. You'll have it every day. You see it when you need it. You subscribe to the channel. You're also going to be registered for a free NOAA weather radio, which we're going to go when we get outside. Yeah, hey Chris, Kingston definitely escaped the worst of it. They did not get the worst. That's the capital. They were far enough away. They were right on the cusp. They were on the edge there. But the South Coast, that's a different story. I was looking at that. I was looking on Google Earth here, and some of the places like Portland Cottage, Lioneltown, over toward Alligator Pond, that whole area on the southern part of the island, I think, got hit very, very hard. But the main capital region did not. So they did dodge a bullet there. Those south areas, it doesn't look like there's any really major towns down in here. It looks fairly sparse to me. Just some local stuff. I was kind of looking here on Google Earth. I wanted to kind of scan the beaches and stuff. So if there was the best place on Jamaica for this stuff to hit, it hit. Because the two main areas for Jamaica, obviously, are Kingston and Montego Bay on the north side, which is where all the resorts and stuff are. So the best area for this to hit did hit the right area. Thank you for sharing that, Chris. Yeah, we definitely got a little lucky there. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just wanted to give you guys one more hour. I wanted to give it an hour to kind of update you on the 5 o'clock advisory, going on the stuff. Here's what I want you guys to do. Look out for my next YouTube update. That'll be in the morning. It'll be a short. It'll be an updated short video there for you. And I'll see what happens when it gets closer to the Yucatan, whether I'm going to do a broadcast. I can't do a broadcast on Friday. That's right. I remember. Friday, I got to take my mother back to Pensacola. She's up here with my dad for this week, who lives down the street from me in assisted living. But for Sunday, if we get something that's going to make landfall or get pretty close to Brownsville, Texas, in that neighborhood on Sunday, I will do a live on Sunday with the hope of actually having my green screen up. And we'd be testing that stuff for the first time on what to go. If I can get that thing working, the next thing I want to do is to tie my slideshow and with a handful of slides in with my keyboard. You know how you do like when you do a slide presentation, you go next slide, next slide. Basically, it's the space key. Next slide, next slide. If I can get this thing to work with a hotkey where I'm going up and down with a little finger remote in my hand, I can do that just like a damn TV station. Yeah, that's of course next level, but we'll get there. All right, we're coming up on 6 o'clock. That's going to do it for tonight. You guys take it easy. Again, it looks like Jamaica has escaped the worst of this. They got very lucky. The South Coast got pandered pretty good, but I don't see any major cities in that area. I think the damage will be fairly minimal there. The main island did okay, but again, we're watching out for part of the Caymans getting hit for tonight, and then the Yucatan as we head into Friday with that next system moving in there. All right, that'll do it for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you. Look for the updates.